possession of Richard Dugdale, a Lancashire mystery. In the summer of 1689, in the quiet village of Surey, near Whalley in Lancashire, a young man named Richard Dugdale became the centre of one of the strangest and most hotly debated possession cases in 17th century England. It was a tale that drew ministers, sceptics and crowds of the curious, and it raised questions that still echo today. Richard Dugdale was just 19, the son of a gardener in the employ of Thomas Lister of Westby Hall. He had no formal education, no notoriety, and by most accounts no prior history of unusual behaviour. But that summer, during the Whalley Rush-Bearing Festival, a lively local celebration filled with drinking, music and dancing, something changed. According to multiple witnesses, Dugdale drank too much and, emboldened by drink and desire, became infatuated with a young woman who he saw dancing. And by some accounts, he remarked in jest, or perhaps in all seriousness, that he would give anything, even his soul, to dance like the finest men on the green. That passing comment, whispered in jest or maybe in desperation, would later fuel a dark rumour that Dugdale had made a deal with the devil for the gift of dance. What followed was no ordinary hangover. Within days, Dugdale began suffering violent fits, convulsions, contortions and strange speech. His voice would change. He would fall rigid or lash out with unnatural strength. He claimed to see spirits in his room at night, and his body would react violently to the reading of scripture. He seemed to speak words in Latin, sometimes even Greek, languages which he had never learned. And yes, he began to move in strange, sometimes graceful ways, leading to some to connect his earlier festival wish to the spectral symptoms that followed. Reverend Thomas Jolly, a nonconformist minister in Lancashire, took a particular interest in Dugdale's case. Over the course of a year, Jolly visited the family and recorded witness statements and conducted exorcisms. In his 1697 pamphlet, the Surey Demoniak, Jolly described Dugdale's terrifying contortions, his apparent knowledge of scripture which he'd never studied, and the strange physical effects, his body sometimes stiff and heavy as iron, and sometimes light and twitching like a puppet. At the height of his affliction, Dugdale would be watched by dozens, sometimes hundreds of visitors. He was taken to a barn, also called the Surey, where, with his father's reluctant consent, he was put on display. Observers saw him leap, tremble and fall into spasms, sometimes break into an eerie, jerking movement that resembled dancing. These performances blurred the line between illness and spectacle, and the rumour about the devil and the dance only grew louder. While Jolly believed the symptoms to be clear signs of possession, others were not so sure. Dugdale had been treated by 2 physicians, and though their names are not preserved, not all of Jolly's witnesses were fully literate. Some signed written accounts that they may not have understood, casting doubt on the reliability of the records. And yet no one ever caught Dugdale in obvious deceit. His symptoms were unpredictable and physically exhausting. If he was faking it, it was an act of near superhuman endurance. And if he wasn't, then what was really happening? There was even a visit to a supposed healer or ghost slayer in the region, though later accounts confuse the identity of this figure, possibly merging folklore and fact. Dugdale was bled and dosed with medicine and prayed over. Some claimed temporary improvement, while others saw his fits intensify. And as suddenly as it began, the affliction faded. By late 1690, Dugdale had returned to relative normalcy. He never published a memoir and never sought the pulpit, and never again appeared in public as a demoniac. He simply vanished from the public record.